Everybody has had those embarrassing moments when they play Fortnite. I've had so many embarrassing moments. I'm embarrassed to even think about it. That's how bad it is, okay? Even the best players out there can have something go horribly wrong or make some mistakes that are so bad it just messes up the entire game. But when you make those mistakes during the Fortnite World Cup Open qualifiers, my goodness, that can even feel even worse. What's up, everybody? It is your guy, Keith Allen, here again. And if you haven't had the opportunity to connect with me on my Instagram, make sure you do so immediately. I would love to hear from you. Send me a message, and we'll get a combo going. So today, we're going to be going over some of the biggest fails that have happened during the World Cup qualifiers. So these are not moments you want to emulate yourself, okay? So please don't copy them, guys, okay? This is just a video where you guys can just chill back, hey, get your paper and pencil out, enjoy, get some popcorn, and watch these hilarious clips from the biggest esports tournament in history. Tfue is a player who was originally renowned for his ability to use bugs in the game to his advantage. Before he blew up and was known for all-around amazing play, he was a pioneer when it came to clever use of things like phasing through builds, or now patch-fast farming methods. So, usually Tfue has the upper hand in in-game bugs, but not in this case. This is more of a fail on Epic Games' part than Tfue's. But during 1 week of the semifinals, Tfue's trying to use a cannon to cross the block so he can loot a bit faster. He's trying to hit the tall building in front of him so that he stops there. So that's where his crosshair is pointed to. You think he would just go straight, but sadly not. There was a pretty common bug with the cannons that made it so you launched in a direction that didn't line up with your crosshair. It happens here. And since he's on the edge of the map, there's nothing he can do as he launches to his death. Oh, so glorious. But Tfue's too good to let this get to him. It was only the semifinals, which to Tfue, oh my goodness, it's a piece of cake to rack up points in. He easily makes it to the second session the next day and finishes 5th place, earning himself a couple of $1,000s. He already earned his spot in New York back in week 3, but he basically does it again, even after such a rough moment. Hey, some players would get triggered by this moment and just start to perform worse. I know I've been there. Knowing when to laugh it off and not let it get to him is part of what makes Tfue able to perform when it matters. And that's what we got to do, guys. We just got to learn to just, brush it off. One hilarious aspect of this clip is that Tfue sort of predicted it would happen the day before it did. He was going over his drop spot in creative, showing his viewers you can use the cannon to surprise push somebody early. He aims a little too high and launches himself off the island. He says, that's obviously not the play. You wouldn't want to just launch into the ocean. Don't go into the ocean. Ironically, during the tournament the next day, he does exactly that. The big fail is the fact that this bug even happened. It's been annoying players by launching them in the wrong direction ever since cannons were introduced in Season 8. Several months went by and Epic Games never put out a fix. They removed most of the cannons in Season 9 and then eventually vaulted them completely. The bug was never fixed, so maybe part of the reason Epic vaulted them was that it was ruining games like this. Either way, it doesn't give the best impression of your game when tens of thousands of viewers watch a glitch ruin their favorite streamer's match. Okay, so picture this, guys. It's the weekend, right? And you log into Twitch to check out some of your favorite streamers compete in the tourney. All right, so you decide to check out Ninja. He's cool, right? And he's done a pretty good job in solo so far. People are looking at him to still pop off in the tourneys. Maybe this is his week to qualify. So, just as you sit down, ready to watch him just slay out, do his thing, you instead see this happen. Wow, he just hit that tree, losing his first match of the session because of it. One of the most prolific players out there gets a last place finish in his first match of the weekend. Are you kidding me? He doesn't lose to a player or a stream sniper, because, we can understand that, right? No, he loses to a tree. His reactions are hilarious too. First, with pure disbelief. Then he has this, you just see that? Face. Then as he realizes how bad he screws up, right? Back to shock, disbelief, and sadness. Still, he tries to laugh it off and hops right back into the next game. Okay, if that was me, all right, can I just be real with everyone right now? If that was me, I would need at least a week to recover. Not all the fault is on Ninja here, though. The hitboxes on trees have always been inconsistent, pretty much throughout all of Fortnite's history. You can see Ninja clearly passing over the leaves, not touching a single one. We're not sure why Epic has never fixed this problem with trees. I just don't get it. This problem wasn't the first, and it won't be the last time somebody dies this way in an event, unfortunately. Still, as somebody who has had so much experience with Fortnite and has been playing since Season 1, this is Ninja. Surely Ninja should have known getting too close to a tree could possibly be disastrous. Still, it's hard to blame him for it. Was Ninja able to bounce back in the next 9 games? Sadly, he ended up with only 29 points, which isn't much for a player of his caliber. With only 29, he was about 10 points off from being able to play in the finals the next day. At that point, this week was his worst performance in the World Cup so far. He had done pretty well in the weeks leading up to it, but just struggled in this one. Really though, he needed to do well this game to have any chance of qualifying for the next session. He continued to have 3 more early game deaths, netting him barely any points. Even for a competitive gaming veteran like Ninja, we're sure this bad start ended up affecting his performance in the later games. On his results during the World Cup qualifiers, Ninja recently stated on Twitter, "I didn't put the full time or effort in it to be on that stage the last 2 days. I promise I'll be there next year." The truth is, it takes a great deal of self-awareness to know that a lack of success is deserved. And it takes humility. And he's okay with his results based on what he put in. But it looks as if Ninja might go hard to work on the competitive grind next year. What do you guys think? Will Ninja make his competitive comeback next year? Or is he just too far behind at this point? So, for our next fail, we have Vivid playing in the Week 9 finals. He's doing that trick where he flies with his quad crasher so he can rotate across the map easily. Suddenly, some crazy Fortnite physics just happened. He hits a tree and gets flung towards the ocean. Despite his best attempt to boost to safety, there was nothing he could do. The momentum on his quad was just too great. His fate was sealed, and it was glorious. Vivid's reaction is easily the best part of this clip. Just take a look at his face when he realizes what's about to happen. It's like he knows what's about to happen, and it's hilarious. There wasn't really anything that he could do to survive here. The angle and the speed he hit that tree basically launched him in an unpredictable direction. Nobody could have seen that coming. Usually you just expect to hit something or just land on the ground and stop, right? Not to hit a tree and fling yourself. Along with the last clip of Ninja, who knew trees could be so dangerous? This actually ended up hurting Vivid quite a bit that week. It was the final session against the top 3,000 players, so every possible point mattered. The quad crasher rotate, when it doesn't end in disaster, allows you to easily get in a really good position. And while his loadout wasn't the best in terms of weapons, he at least had a medkit to heal up to full health. That combined with the good positioning could have easily gotten him to the end game, getting the points needed to push himself up into the leaderboards. While he ended up doing pretty well and earning some money that day, he probably would have made a lot more if not for what just happened here. Oh well. But Vivid fortunately did qualify for the New York finals in week 1, so he already had his spot. Oh boy, Tim the Tapman and Fall Damage. I just think they make a really good couple. No, I'm playing. It's pretty hard to name a more notorious duo though. Alright, I'll wait. The lovable streamer has been feeling the harsh effects of gravity pretty much his entire Fortnite career. And unsurprisingly, he had a run-in with his old foe during the Week 3 solo qualifiers. Forgetting that Polar Peak has really steep slopes, unlike most other mountains in the game, he tries to drop down and catch himself with the build. Well, sadly, there's just nothing to attach the build to. He realizes his fate, he hits the ground, and then shouts in disbelief. I could just hear the mountain say, "My bad, bro." So what makes this such a big fail is that it was his last semifinals match for the day, right? And at 33 points, he was super close to moving on to play in Week 3 finals. He needed only 5 more points for that to happen. That's simply just having to make it to top 15 in this game. With a gold scar, a nice assortment of heals, a good position, and nearly full materials, he was in as good as a position as anybody could be. But in classic Tim fashion, he messes it up entirely in the most, I have to admit, entertaining way. Obviously, Tim's not a competitive player, so qualifying being a part of the top 3,000 players in the region wouldn't have been a huge accomplishment for him. With tens of thousands of viewers watching him live, he had quite an audience to impress as well. You could just tell how badly he wanted it to happen. With a bit more knowledge of the map, he probably wouldn't have known to waterfall down the mountain instead of trying to catch himself on it. Waterfalling is such a basic but necessary technique for situations just like this. But as he says later on, he didn't know Polar Peak area very well, which led to the fall. R.I.P. buddy. Hopefully you guys found those clips as funny as we did.
Yo, there's no way the fucking cannon just bugged. That's so unlucky. Oh my.
Since this video came out, the World Cup finals have also wrapped up. So expect some entertaining tips, tricks, and fails from Epic's biggest Fortnite event to date in the next couple of days. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more in this style, hey, tell us in the comments. Let us know what you're interested in, and look, we're going to follow through. Also, feel free to leave any feedback, as that also helps us out a lot.